to all the women who dream, who dream, who think that they can do something in life, and this is your time. Please go ahead. We won India's first Oscar with Kartiki being the first-time director, and me being a producer. Two women out there. So yeah, it's like I said, the future is audacious.
You've been through your lows and you've been through tough, challenging times of losing money. You've sold your house to survive. How were you able to come out of it?
So the power of surrender and power of faith is something that we underestimate the most, because we fear, and when fear hits you, you're constantly living in worst case scenario. जो कभी होने नहीं वाला.
Hello everyone, Jaskiran Kapoor here, and I am with someone who needs no introduction, Guneet Monga Kapoor. So she insists, please, her name has to be mentioned like that. And everyone knows she's got the first Oscar for an Indian production.
Yes.
She's won the Oscar before, their film, which was period in 2019, right? But for this Elephant Whispers, I saw it. It was a beautiful film. She's got the Oscar, and that's like a big thing. So I want to first know, why is the Oscar such a big deal?
So for over the years, it's definitely is the biggest award in our industry. Like there is World Cup for cricket, there is Olympics for sports. So there is Oscars for our industry globally, and for the media, for the film industry, it's a big deal. And of course, it's been a dream of all young filmmakers, and for me too.
Was it your dream? For how long was it your dream?
Forever.
Forever. But I believe you didn't get your moment on the stage.
Because I have to go back for a feature.
Okay, but if you get that moment now, what will you say?
I actually did say my speech at backstage, and that was seen very heavily. But yeah, for me, it is about thanking Burman and Belly, my parents, Guruji, my universe, my energies. Like just what I mean to say is the energy above us that guides us. Even in the backstage, I forgot to thank my husband. So, and even when I said my husband somewhere, I forgot to say his name. So, Sunny Kapoor. To my team, my company, Sikha Entertainment, Achin, to Netflix, which has been such an amazing partner, to my director, who brought the story, who has championed this and brought this joy and immense value in our lives and worked so hard, to the entire Elephant Whispers team, all the DOPs, editors, behind the scene, and above and beyond, Raghu and Amu, our elephants, who brought us the luck. So I think, and to all the women who dream, who dream, who think that, they can do something in life, and this is your time. Please go ahead. We won India's first Oscar with Kartiki being the first-time director, and me being a producer. Two women out there. So yeah, it's like I said, the future is audacious, and
So
the future
it is audacious.
here.
But when someone brings a story to you, जब आपके पास आता है कोई कि Guneet, I'm sure your desk is piled with stories. How do you choose? मतलब there has to be a process. How do you find the diamond in the rough? Because that's a whole process which is mind-boggling, and that sets the story आगे.
Yeah, so I think it is a process of nurturing. It's a process of did this surprise us? Did this say something that is meaningful? Did this touch us? Why do you like a book? When you read it, why do you feel like this is great piece of writing? This is great piece of story. So it's a very, very intuitive process. To break it down, it is really divided into two things. One, the story itself, and the second is the filmmaker. So those two elements, and when you speak to somebody, you realize, what their vision is, how they want to see it, what is their visual style, how do they want to put this forward. So it's really important to first fall in love with the story, and then to also fall in love with the filmmaker, because it's going to be a journey for 2-3 years.
You have to be compatible.
And you have to be, like this one listens to you, understands you, and you speak the same language, and then your vision becomes a shared common vision that you're pushing, You're doing your bit while he's doing your bit, and that really, while he or she is doing their bit. So that really, I think, is a camaraderie, which is a recipe to success.
So Elephant Whispers, what was special? I found the love was the selling theme.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's what floored everyone at Oscars. It's simple, pure innocent love.
Yeah, I think how amazing are Berman and Berry, how
Yes.
selfless, how kind and selfless and beautiful, and it's also a story of coexistence.
Yes, Mudumalai is beautiful. I just went there for a holiday. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Breathtakingly beautiful.
It is, and also the Tamil Nadu government has done a great job in with the reserve, with the elephants, with the mahouts, and built this system and structure. Yeah.
So storytelling may you could have gone into publishing, you could have gone into the book business. Cinema, cinema se kya attraction? When
see
did that begin?
No, I don't know when did it begin, but my best friend's mother, Anurita Sekul, was in production in international films, and I just started interning with her. And
Just like that?
Yeah. And,
कि कुछ करना है.
yeah, and my, in fact, second job in my life was in Chandigarh, and that's when I met
Yes.
you in 2014.
2004, Big Serene's partition.
2004. I have missed a decade.
Yes.
I've
Guneet
jumped a
Monga
decade.
managing laundry lists
Yeah,
over here.
yeah. So I love Chandigarh. I stayed here, I think, for 4-5 months.
Yes,
and
it was a long stint.
And then did two films and lots of research, lots of projects, and it was international films. So I think there, the dream of actually doing my boss's job, then doing that boss's job, then I just wanted to go up the ladder. So I went from being an intern to a production coordinator to a location manager to a line producer and then to a producer. So I learned on the job.
And what is this aspect? Everyone wants to be a actor. सबको कैमरा के आगे आना है. Why are you so excited about being the producer, being the hustler that you are? You say, I am the hustler and I love the hustle.
Because you can control some bit of the destiny. You feel like you are more in charge, and you can take it forward. You can add that value, add integrity, honesty to the narrative. It's really important. I feel like सब लोग अपना एक job कर रहे हैं, but for me it's everything everywhere all at once. It's the entire entity of it. So besides, I love it. I love the business of storytelling, the process of storytelling, the journey of storytelling, from seeing it on page to seeing it visually, and then the magic happens when sound happens. एक चीज़ होता है execution, एक चीज़ होता है edit, but when the sound in the end happens, it's one of my most favorite times of filmmaking.
The sound of
any project, like when sound and music comes together.
Yes.
Because now it takes a village to make a film. तो सब ना इंडिविजुअली हो रहा होता है कि पहले स्क्रिप्ट होती है, फिर चलो आप पैसे रेज करते हो, एक्टर्स आते हैं, फिर आप एग्जीक्यूशन करते हो, उसके बाद एडिट होता है, और उसके बाद जब ये पूरा प्रोसेस खत्म हो जाता है, एंड देन यू आर साउंड मिक्स पर आते हो आप. You've done so much of work on your music, and when it is put together on the visuals and how everything comes to life. I remember one of my first films, I think Say Salam India, when I was the first film that I produced, and I was living through the edit and the sound mix of it. I still remember that joy, because it was one girl sitting in a house and it was dark and it was an evening shot. तो हमने वो शूट तो किया था और वो हम देख भी रहे थे अपने एडिट में, लेकिन जब वो साउंड मिक्स में देखा तब पीछे घंटियाँ आ गई मंदिर की, आवाज़ें थोड़ी सी कि बाहर कोई सड़क है, and that just lit up my imagination. That how beautiful, oh my God, now that same girl sitting in that corner has like a universe around her, and you can imagine it. So for me that was magic, and I have always just felt the magic of sound mix as the ultimate joy of filmmaking.
I think that provides a finesse to the film also.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, how you're in one of your interviews you said you're like an engineer, you're building the bridge between the distributor, the filmmaker, and the world.
Yeah.
So, and you are one of those ambassadors who has presented India to the world.
Yes.
So how is the world responding to India? How do they view our cinema? कैसा लगता है उनको कि हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं? Are they started taking us seriously?
Yeah, I think
because we have very good films now.
Absolutely, I think RRR made a huge impact.
But I think the Great Indian Kitchen should have gone.
That is another story and journey. But I feel like RRR actually made a huge impact for Indian storytelling, because I know how hard they worked on the ground, and everything that they did there is very important. While we think what should represent our India, it's also a business. It's a long process. मतलब Oscars is not an overnight thing. It's at least 2-3 months of just campaign. उससे पहले, of course, releasing, marketing your film and all of that. But it's next 2-3 months that you're dedicated to just putting your word out there. Globally, films have come there, and you have to take the conversation of your country and that land and that story forward, which is very expensive, and it comes with a lot of resources and a lot of learnings from the business. So a team, an American distributor, all of that is needed for the campaign. It's extensive.
How seriously did it take you first when you went? You were very young. जब आप गए.
To 2010, I went for a short film, Kavi, in 2010, and that was a student film that had won an Oscar and came into top 5. That year was not for me to be able to do campaign. उस टाइम बहुत सारे वोटर्स भी सिर्फ यूएस में थे and सिर्फ उस एरिया में थे. But over the years now, Academy has become so inclusive. Like now there are voters globally. So you're talking to voters globally to promote your film. Also, digital media has come in. It's very
Technology has
different.
changed it all. It's made it better. But earlier, I know you have pasted posters on your back
Yes,
t-shirt
yes.
pe. You have written to the president straight
Yes.
away for your visas.
Yes.
You, I don't know how your neighbor, he must really love you. उसने loan दिया आपको 75 lakhs for your film.
Yes.
And that was Salam, Say Salam
Say
India.
Salam India.
And you wrote with your network 1,000 emails in one day at Cannes when you went. कि
At,
चलो, let's get the distributors and
Venice
buyers
for
at
Yellow
Venice.
Booth, and my email was blocked.
And your email was blocked. So you have hustled like no hustle. Is this the first, if you do a master class, is this what you're going to teach? How to,
Yes.
the art of hustle?
Yeah, that is the cover of my book.
That is the cover of your book.
Yeah.
So this is like, I want to, that's, everyone wants to know, okay, director nahi, actor nahi. It's the producer who's actually negotiating, navigating and taking you to the end. Isn't that?
While I think producer, while director is the brain, producer is the backbone. You know, all of us together make the heart of filmmaking, but it's so important. It's so important to have a structure, to have, I think a lot of times the way you design the business of the film actually also impacts its journey further. So it's really important to be mindful about how anything that we do will take the story forward. Is it meant to go forward? Is it meant for what audiences? How are we positioning it there? What is the right number? Because films don't flop, their budgets flop, you know, so they make it so lopsided
Yes.
that the film can't carry the weight of it. But once you understand that what is the right mix of it, it's a huge art.
It's a huge art, finance and everything. So you had said, कितना पैसा लाएगी, कितना कमाएगी और क्या market share है. बड़े फिल्मी dialogue थे आपने. You had said it once in an interview.
हाँ.
के फिल्म के बारे में. This is distribution. कितना पैसा लाएगी, कितना कमाएगी और कितना market share होगा.
Correct.
You still stand by that?
हाँ, मतलब that is the business of feature films and in short films. And now technology has come in, and now we have platforms like Netflix, which are in 190 plus countries, which has millions of followers, 236 million.
That really helps
followers.
India to come up.
That helps all of us.
Does it help the independent wave, the
Absolutely.
indie cinema, the documentaries?
Absolutely.
Because they are coming up.
I think documentaries have come in because now people have started experiencing it. You know, so कोई देखेगा तभी तो उसकी demand होगी, तभी वो create होंगी. Yeah.
And you're a female producer, so I'm going to bring the gender angle over here. And you have Kartiki. And how do you place women today? Because there was an article also, Jubilee, Vikramaditya Motwane's, where this lady's written an article in The Wire that how they have completely dismissed the women who created the cinema, and they were huge producers at that time. Devika Rani, Saira Banu's grandmother, they were the ones who actually created the industry. So not the men as much, as they were being paid 4 times what the men were being paid. So why somewhere the women lost the credit, and now do you feel that the wave is rising again? The women producers have to be taken seriously. Women writers, directors have to be taken seriously.
We do form 50% of the world, and I'm sorry, I've not seen Jubilee, but not had the time. I've heard good things about it, but I've not yet.
At the time, I know you've been
to sit down
traveling.
And watch it.
Yes.
But I think we make 50% of the world, and more than anything, bring empathy to the table. And more than anything, bring empathy to the table, and that there is no shortcut to. You can't manufacture it. You can't manufacture an experience of somebody who's, reacting to years of patriarchy, and bringing that on the table. It's so easy. There are amazing men out there, who are supporting, who are understanding, who actually ask, how can we support, because we're all products of patriarchy, period. And we are all every day waking up and saying, okay, how far can we push? What is okay? and this is okay and this is equal in every aspect of life, be it in um, police services or in filmmaking or in front of camera, behind camera, pay grade, just it's so normalized that men go on the bread for home, that this entire generation is talking about we are equal.
Hmm.
We can also make money, we can also make more money, we can also run the house while we are supposed to have babies, but it's okay, it's a choice. It's okay if you don't want to have babies, it's okay if husband wants to sit at home and take care of babies. There's such a huge spectrum that this generation is fighting, and I hope it gets better for generations coming up. But yes, it's been a struggle for many people because there have been all these, years of patriarchy that women are supposed to wax their legs, women are supposed to look pretty, their work is to, put red lipstick and do ghar ka kaam, so, and then you've heard this so many bachpan se sun rahe ho, and then you also start, you know, living up to, and that's the patriarchy we are talking about. So in everyday little wins also, why can't I do this, why can't I have my choice in everything, or the way you want to live your life or choose your life. So it comes down to, less than 5% women are directors. So why can't this number increase, why can't we put more money and more faith behind women? If I mean, it's not me, it's the stats.
So are you, do you have projects with
All my entire
or are you
state.
gender blind, मतलब ठीक है जिसकी story ज़्यादा अच्छी है?
नहीं नहीं, I think everything, I think the Me Too movement had a very big impact on me, and something changed in me, and I just wanted to make sure that I do my bit, you know. So my entire slate is either a women's led story or a woman director, and I feel like कुछ कर लेती हूँ for men, but बहुत लोग कर रहे हैं वो भी.
Guneet, you know, in all these years, you lost your parents in 2008, all at once, both of them. You've been through your lows and you've been through tough, challenging times of losing money. You've sold your house to survive. How were you able to come out of it? How were you able to address it? Because we are in the country also going through mental health crisis. How did you manage to come up surviving and swimming
I think
against the tide?
I think I have to say it is my spiritual practice. It is Gurbani. It is just leaning into, grounding into faith. That it will be okay, and we will swim through, and we will come out of it. So the power of surrender and power of faith is something that we underestimate the most, because we fear, and when fear hits you, you're constantly living in worst case scenario. जो कभी होने नहीं वाला.
Yeah.
But it's
You
very,
manifest that कि
but it's
पता
very
नहीं क्या हो
easy to
जाएगा.
think कि अच्छा मेरे सारे पैसे खत्म हो जाएंगे और मैं सड़क पर आ जाऊंगी. कभी नहीं होगा वो, because आप काम कर रहे हो आप, और कभी भी कुछ भी कर, मतलब my parents said that we've given you education, you can, in fact my dad taught me this, कि तुम कभी सड़क पर नहीं सोओगे, मतलब that will never happen. So then how much is enough? I mean, I've traveled the world, I've experienced a beautiful life, and I think it's everyday faith over fear, and that creates so much magic that we'll be fine. We will swim through, and when the worst case scenario happens, तो वो दुख में भी देखना that okay, this is how do I find a little bit of light in this tunnel, and just jump over this, and then it'll be fine. It'll be behind me.
So are Paglet and Dasvidanya somewhere an ode to that memory?
Yes, they are.
It is. They are. They are.
They
So
are
you,
very close to me.
the Paglet was with the. I could also relate how you don't instantly react to grief.
Yeah.
It happens. It comes in waves.
Yeah.
It
Took me many years.
Took you many years.
To
And
turn grief into power.
now Sunny is also here with us, and you married a brand new chapter in your life. Does it change perspective, and does it change the way you view stories, your business?
Yeah, I'd like to spend more time with him, but I think he's been very kind of spending time with me. But I think there's definitely a lot of love and kindness, and there is belonging for me to have a set of parents, to have a set of family, and to experience getting back to Delhi as home. So it's definitely grounding. It's beautiful, but Sunny is very excited about the films that I do, and he has great ideas. He adds a lot of value. He loves sitting into some story narrations. very wide-eyed, like अच्छा फिर ऐसे भी तो कर सकते हैं. So it's so nice to share that. One of my favorite memories of the family is my recent film Kathal, which is coming out on
Yes.
19th of May on
Sanya Malhotra.
with
Yes.
Sanya Malhotra, 19th of May on Netflix. Kathal, the jackfruit.
Very quirkily titled.
I have narrated the story to the family when I met them, so a couple of years ago. And then Sunny's mom has picked up a phone on her sisters and narrated है तेनू पता है ਉਹਦੀ ਕਿਹੜੀ story है ਉਹ ਨਾ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਵਾਲੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ and then ਉਹਦਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਹਦਾ ਕਠਲ ਚੋਰੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ and then I have just died laughing and it's so endearing because I've missed this. I've missed
the banter.
I've missed an articulation of a story by a mom, and and then further narrating it to her sisters, her family, and the joy कि अभी वो ये कर रही है, and the power of storytelling.
बिल्कुल. So do you think India has a lot of stories to tell, regional जो ये hinterland से आती है, अंदर से slice of life stories? बहुत है.
इतने सारे experiences.
Where have you got very good ones from? Like where does your statistics and your location hunters take you?
ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. I think they're all human stories. But then we choose where to fit them because of language, color, कहाँ से क्या आएगा, and that's a process of visual storytelling.
There's a lot of work involved. Are you still working along with Anurag Kashyap? You made him an international brand. You are the one who's made him an international brand.
That is very kind, but it's actually not. I would never.
He, of course, made very good films.
No. I think he's been my mentor. He's taught me so much.
What?
In the
I want
business.
to know.
Filmmaking at large. I mean, he's a walking, talking film school. And it's such a joy to see him work and function. And he taught me to dream. He taught me that our films will go international. तू जा मतलब तुम आगे बढ़ो
सिमरन जी ले अपनी जिंदगी.
तुम आगे बढ़ो हम तुम्हारे साथ हैं वाला faith पहले उन्हीं से आया था.
Good.
So for and then even he was like, it's time that you become independent. So since 2014 post Lunchbox, I've run Sikya.
Do you need mentors in Bollywood because there are so many camps? And now you are a camp unto yourself. Do you need mentors? Are you mentoring anyone?
Absolutely. I think mentorship is the key to any business. I feel like it gives you articulation. It gives you to share your experiences. It gives you a sense of perspective, which is so important, and even to expanding the horizon. So mentorship, I think, is inherently very, very important in life, in any business. And I try and do my bit all the time.
Are you mentoring people now?
Yes.
You have a team of mentors. So what is the code of survival in Bombay? An outsider's survival kit in Bombay. Tips and kits.
Stay near your work. Have your means. Like, firstly, just know if this is your passion. It's a long drawn out business. So if it's your it cannot feel like work. And when we are showing up for our passion every day, we enjoy it. The minute you start making this कि अच्छा मैं काम पे जा रही हूँ और ये काम मुझे इतने पैसे दे रहा है इतने नहीं दे रहा, you start quantifying it, you will be very unhappy. This is a long arc in life and everything will come, but just try and work with good people where you get to learn. Try and intern with good people. I tell this to good production companies.
Yes.
Where you get to learn. It is the key. And stay near that, find your tribe and double down on it. You'll always find people who are also in your same situation, looking for a house, looking for this thing, or like a DOP or an editor, and keep creating, So you find your tribe like that in whatever, start where you can.
So stick here. You're still a student, still learning.
Forever student.
Forever student. Finally, how does an Oscar change everything for you? You won first in 2019, but how does this Oscar, do you have like more people becoming best friends? Like how does this Oscar change? More funding coming in, more people, or now Salman and Shah Rukh say, तो गुनीत के साथ ही काम करना है और किसी के साथ नहीं.
2019 I had won for a short film called Period End of Sentence, but I was an executive producer on it.
Yes.
And I had championed a film that Oakwood School Girls made in America.
It was a beautiful film.
Thank you.
Yes.
But it did not bring a trophy to me. So this trophy of Elephant Whisperers is a completely Indian film.
Yes.
And it's India's first production to win, and definitely I have a trophy of my own with our names on it, which is surreal, beautiful, and a blessing above all, and what an honor. The change, I think, definitely more doors are opening up nationally and internationally. Definitely more people want to talk, interact. What else are your ideas? Definitely sources of funding, of course, are opening up, and with every reward, for me also, it's, I think, I'm also getting a love of the last 15 years. So it's been a beautiful journey. I feel like now people are joining dots and saying, oh, Lunchbox, oh, Masan, oh, Gangs of Wasseypur. Like, they're picking up my resume and profile, oh, Paglet, yeah, Dastidania. It's been interesting, but let's see where we go from here to many more Oscars.
So Indian government, does it help you in some way? Because of course they sit up and they are proud that we've got an Oscar. Where do you think the Indian government needs to help, or the state governments, for your industry? Because they have
Yeah,
been, there
there
are
should.
cases of censorship, there are
I
cases of
think
trolling, blocking,
we
so many
definitely
things.
we definitely need documentary support. Documentary filmmakers definitely need support from state, center, every government, because documentaries are supposed to be public funded, and they are an observation of a society. They are documenting a certain time, or they're archival in format, or they are verite in format. And globally, documentaries are made with public funding and grants. And mostly Indian filmmakers actually take very long because they're constantly applying for grants in some country where 80% of that grant is for their home projects, and 20% is all international, which the whole world is competing for. And so are some of our beautiful Indian filmmakers. So last 2 years, if you see, we have had Cannes and Sundance winning documentary filmmakers, and beautiful filmmakers here like Shaunak or Rintu or Shirley. But definitely more support system is needed. Currently, the digital companies like Netflix are doing a great job, but documentary filmmakers far and wide in India
Delhi.
need that support.
All right. So I think we are running out of time. And I would like to say one thing is that I love the outfits that you've been wearing in the last
Thank
4 5
you,
months. I think someone's styling you fabulously. Are you
Manisha
saying?
Milwani.
Okay.
The credit goes to
So much.
Manisha Milwani
It's,
and her
you're
team
looking
Bigotro.
sexy as hell
Thank you.
and good styling. And we will meet next time and talk more. So, ladies and gentlemen, Guneet Monga
Thank
Kapoor.
you.
And we're proud to have her with us
Thank
from
you.
2004 making laundry lists to now holding an Oscar.
Thank you,
Thanks for having us.
Jaskiran. Thank you.
See you soon with your feature and Oscar.
Yes.
Thanks.